Well, hello everybody. I'm here, I think. Can you give me a one if you can hear me? Uh, I'm I'm not sure whether this is going to work. Found a working chat. Is it on or off? Kirky Bailey says. Well, the original one was on. Yes, you can hear me. Excellent. Yeah, the live stream I had. I scheduled it for today a few days ago. So I literally go in, I see all of you chatting, I go live, and then all of a sudden I realised, hang on a minute, there's something wrong here because I wasn't getting the number of people in the chat. And then I said to everybody, can you give me a one if you can hear me? And nobody responded. So then that told me there was a problem. So I quickly come out, deleted that one, recreated one, and came in. And thankfully, everybody's found me, which is great. I'll have to keep an eye on that in future. It's like I use StreamYard and it connects to YouTube, and it looks like YouTube had the stream, but StreamYard wouldn't connect to it. And it's no good because everything I've got set up for this evening, you really need StreamYard for. So I think it was one of those weird little furballs. Anyway, where was we? Karen B, hello. Good to see you. Julie Baldwin, Trevor, Alan Pape, Bloodnose, John Kent, Patricia Shaw. Yes, we're all coming in loud and clear now, aren't we? Bridget, Kirky Bailey. Yes, you are there. Julie Keys, good to see you. I see 33. I love that screen name. I don't know why, but I do. Dillian, Lorne McKenzie. Yes, it looks like we're all coming in, doesn't it? That's all right. Yes, brilliant. Yes, I'm off to John Harrison, Christine Ayres have found their way in, and Cosmic Wartoad as well. Yes, it's all good. Andy, I didn't get a notification for the members live stream. Yeah, what I'm trying to do, Lorna, if you keep an eye out on the community tab and also any like public announcement videos I make, that's your notification about the members only live chat. What I'm trying to do is open a gateway for you to actually get in there and actually do the business and actually communicate with everybody. It was cool last night. We had a bit of the old two Ronnies, four candles or bill hooks or whatever you have. Well, try and get in there and you'll see. I blame it on Putin. Christine here says, hello, Philip Marsh. Good to see you. And Divian's just going to make a cuppa. Yes, everybody, if you're in the chat, please make sure you smash that like button. We've got over 50 in already, which is great stuff. Hello to everybody and welcome. And let's see if we can have a good one this evening. What I want to talk about first is the channel migrants, our good old friends that come over in those rubber inflatable things. We know that the French are bitching and whining that apparently we owe them £8 million, even though we've given them 54 million, and it doesn't seem to be doing a great deal. I actually bought this subject up myself some time ago, and everyone was screaming publicity stunt, publicity stunt. I do, of course, refer to the footage of the French police stabbing the buggery out of a dinghy and actually breaking the engine and trying to make it look as if everything was working out. Now, Channel 4 have kind of got into this nonsense as well, trying to convince us that they're doing what they actually should do. I mean, Steve Laws, I'll bring him up again. I want to share something with you that he did that I was sent earlier. So if you bear with me a second, I will set this a little bit up for you. Yeah, can everybody see that all right? That screen there. What I'm going to do is mute myself and play the footage for you so you can see exactly what's going on.
Channel 4 News put out a video showing French police slashing dinghies with Stanley blades and spraying pepper spray in front of their faces to stop them crossing the channel illegally. On the day that this video emerged, over 600 illegal immigrants crossed that day. So to suggest that they're actually stopping them is complete nonsense. The reality is, the French want more money from us, so this is nothing more than a publicity stunt to encourage the taxpayer to be okay with giving the French more money to prevent crossings. They don't actually do this. When you compare the footage with what actually happens when illegal immigrants film themselves coming over in dinghies, it's a completely different situation. There's no police to be seen. But conveniently, when state-funded Channel 4 are on the scene, all of a sudden the French police are stopping the crossings and slashing the dinghies. I wouldn't believe it as far as I can throw it if I was you. It looks like state propaganda to me.
So we've got about 40 or 50 people. The police buggy has just turned up to try and stop them.
Reality is we've had almost 25,000 come over this year. None of them are being stopped. Very rarely are any being brought back to France. And when they are, it's only when the dinghy physically can't make it to the centre of the channel to get picked up. So don't believe the hype, guys. Channel 4 are just spreading propaganda. That's my opinion on the situation. Once the French have actually been given the money, it'll all go back to normal. And let's not forget, it's only one video's emerged of one dinghy being stopped. That's absolutely nothing. Those people would have been on a dinghy the very next day, if not the same day.
Says it all, doesn't it, folks? Always said it was a stunt, John Kent says. Yeah, you know, your comment there is exactly what everyone else is thinking. It's a complete and utter stunt, or as Kirky Bailey says, an exercise. Lorna McKenzie, exactly. They need to stop paying the French. They're obviously not doing it correctly. I've always said, I've always been an advocate. If you want a job doing properly, do it yourself. I find it very, very telling that a news crew happened to be there just at that precise moment in time. I find it very, very telling that that knife was there in the side of the dinghy right at the relevant time. It all stinks of a big setup and publicity stunt. And I find it completely insulting that they think the British public are really that stupid to fall for this. But the unfortunate thing is, there's a lot that will. Chrissy Williams has made a very valid point, and I was thinking the same thing. If that was really pepper spray, they'd be on the floor straight away. I've been near pepper spray. Chrissy, so have I. I remember years ago when we were at school, we actually found a small tin of pepper spray. I mean, I'm going back, well, might as well say 30 years, a better part of. And we let this off in the sink, and immediately we were coughing and spluttering and everything else, purely because it did the job it was designed to do. It incapacitated us. Now, that guy on the side of the boat had a full-on load of it sprayed in his face. He didn't flinch. He managed to walk away with no problem whatsoever. Stinks a bit, doesn't it, really? Bobcat 1967, hello to you. Who would launch at low tide? That's another one as well. Lee Foster, good to see you. Hope you're well and welcome to the chat this evening. Thank you for that message you sent me the other day, by the way, pointing a couple of bits and pieces out. That's good. Who else we got? I have a spare bedroom. Come to Wales, Alan says. Kirky Bailey, bit of fiction. That's all it is. Bit of fiction, bit of fiction. Listen, everybody, if you haven't done so already, please hit that like button. Got a good number in the chat with us at the moment. Excellent to see you all. Yeah, and if there's any new people here as well, please consider subscribing to Andy the Gabby Cabby. There's a bit going on in the background at the moment with the channel. We're looking at certain things and certain other things we can introduce and try and make us as good as we possibly can be. So I really appreciate and need all of your support with what's going on. I know I've got it. Some of you have been very sweet to me. It's been absolutely brilliant. But yes, onwards and upwards. We're on over 31,000 subscribers now. We dropped below that, but then we climbed above it again, and we're slowly on that upward climb. So that's brilliant. The other thing I've done, I don't know if anybody noticed, is turn off merch, all the t-shirts and the mugs and all the rest of it. I've got rid of it at the moment because it's just overpriced, and yeah, it's not the best service. I'm actually looking around trying to source an alternative, and I've got some wonderful designs for things floating around in the pipeline. It's just getting someone to do it for me, so watch that space as well. John Harris, don't let the trolls get you down. Don't worry, John, they're not getting me down. I think they're absolutely pathetic. And as I say, there's some stuff going on in the background with regard to that, where, you know, it's nice to have some backup that's appeared. And yes, they're not a problem at all. We see them for what they are. Sad little cretins who should get a life and stay out of bars. But you're going to get them anywhere where you're you know, do this sort of thing. It's just dealing with them. Hi, Mum. Good to see you. See you in the chat. Yeah, the problem is it's Teespring I use, John. And what happens, they set the base price, their production costs, and they are, well, quite steep to begin with before you think of anything else. You know, I probably get 50p to £1 out of every single one. That's even keeping everything as lean as possible. And it's not the best service, so we are looking. Yeah, Andy, your country and mine, the US, both have unprotected borders, and we're getting overrun by these illegals. We are every single day, every single day. I mean, we have it where they're obviously coming across the English Channel, and I know you guys have it where they're coming across the Mexican border, aren't they? And being shipped into places like sanctuary cities and all this sort of thing. I mean, was it Bill Cannon said that they sneaked a plane load of them into Westchester County late one night underneath everybody's noses so the press didn't get wind of it or anything of that nature. Yeah, why so sneaky? What are they trying to hide, huh? Something not right there. Not right at all. Years ago, Neto, oh, I missed that one. Let's have a look. There was another couple that I wanted to get on. We've got 100 in the chat now, so welcome to everybody. Great to see that kind of number after about 13 or 14 minutes. Considering we had a bit of a technical hiccup at the beginning, that's absolutely brilliant. You've all managed to find me all right. Zero, hello. Hope you're well, and thank you for joining us this evening. Yeah, everyone's saying hello to my mum. That's nice. Thank you very much. Yeah, when I did the little walkabout video with Jack earlier, I made a reference to troll hunting in the bushes. I couldn't resist it, really, but there you go. John Kent, how's the painting going, by the way? I saw your comments about the painting. Have you managed to get it finished, or have you taken up Mick's offer of his painting and decorating services? Let me know. Handy Andy. Hello, Andy's mum. That's great, everybody. Thank you very much. Hello, Alan Reader. Good to see you. And yes, good to see everybody. Stink Pooter as well. The next thing I want to discuss is the sad situation where young Olivia Pratt-Korbel was murdered, the young, beautiful 9-year-old girl. Now, we were all thinking, let's get the bastard that did it, you know, let's get him. An arrest was made the other day of the guy that the gunman was chasing. I mean, it looks like it was a chase that ended up in the house. This gunman was after this individual. It got in the house. There was a stray bullet. Olivia died, and her mother was injured. And they managed to arrest the guy that was being chased a while ago, a few days ago, which is something. And it looks like last night there was a raid in Merseyside. Hello, Reform BBC. There was a raid in Merseyside, and it looks like they've arrested somebody who it looks like is the shooter. And they got him. Yes, Lorna Mackenzie, they arrested the suspected shooter today. I mean, we'll run through the news again. Where are we? Olivia Pratt-Korbel. Shall. Yes, let's just check that's displaying properly. Yes, that is. Yeah, I found this on Metro, and it's also on GB News as well. Yeah, I'll see if I can I make this full screen. Yeah, this is a piece of aerial footage showing how the suspect was arrested, which I think is quite interesting. There might be an advert. It's obviously night vision type stuff there, but it looks like that's what was going down, and this was the result of a raid during the night. It's only about 55 seconds worth, and you can see quite clearly a lot of activity at the side of the house there. But I don't know yet whether his name was given or it was part of an investigation. Either way, they've got a person for it. And hopefully it turns out to be the right person, and hopefully they will be charged. Now, let's get rid of that before it starts playing something else we don't want. Yeah. Detectives investigating the murder of Olivia Pratt-Korbel have released footage showing the moment armed police arrested the suspected gunman. Shows a man being led from the property, which we've just seen. Comes hours after Merseyside police confirmed a 36-year-old from the Hoyton area has been arrested on suspicion of the 9-year-old's murder, as well as 2 counts of attempted. He's currently in custody being questioned. And look at her, beautiful young girl, whole life ahead of her, and cruelly taken away. She was shot Monday night by the gunman who chased his intended target into the family home, also injuring her mother. Neighbours described how armed police descended on a block of flats on Thursday night in the raid. One neighbour said, "We saw armed police, all in black with balaclavas and machine guns." They were obviously taking no chances with this guy and got him. They closed the road off and went in. And she's a bunny rabbit. Friday afternoon, a police matrix van pulled up in the car park of the flats, and 5 officers were seen entering the top floor flat. One officer took a ladder into the property. Police left carrying a plastic bag which appeared to contain other bags, boxes, and materials. Officers would not confirm if the activity was linked into the investigation of Olivia's murder. They've released an image of a black Audi, which they believe was the same vehicle used to take a 35-year-old man who was also injured in the shooting to hospital. Convicted burglar Joseph Nee, 35, from Dovecot, has been named as the man injured, and I know they arrested him. That was in the news the other day. As Olivia, he was picked up by friends in an Audi and taken to hospital. and there's various other information about tributes and all that sort of thing. Really heartbreaking story, and my heartfelt condolences to the family. And you're never going to be able to get over that. Certainly, the circumstances, I can't imagine the pain. But yeah, Julie Keys, makes me laugh when subscribers actually say what I'm about to think about saying. Where's the deterrent? Where is that deterrent that's going to prevent people from doing this? And unfortunately now, the victim is a young 9-year-old girl, and her mother injured, and her mother will be traumatized for the rest of her life because of this. And I hope that justice in some way will be delivered. I mean, when they go to prison now, it's life in prison. And then you hear about all these appeals and everything that go on. Pathetic. You go to prison for life, should mean life. But better still, I agree with Julie Keys' way of thinking on this. In certain circumstances, if proved beyond a reasonable doubt, there you go. Lee Foster, wasn't someone else been shot since then in Liverpool? I'm unaware. I'll have a look. I will certainly have a look. Yeah. That hits the nail on the head right there, Blood Nose. I mean, you saw the video of me and Jack out today. Jack's 9 years old. And, we're supposed to go to the park, have an ice cream, go for a walk and a laugh. And that's what a kid's life should be. And that's how that's all a kid should know, or a child. And for that to happen, it's absolutely unbelievable. But life should be life like in the US. Yeah, Lorna McKenzie, absolutely. I mean, even with, you have a big problem in the US, don't you, where there's an awful lot of district attorneys that don't seem to want to prosecute anything anymore. Like in New York, if someone holds up a store and they don't shoot anybody, it's no longer a felony, it's a misdemeanor. I mean, come on, when you start messing around like that, even they should see it involves the death of a young girl who didn't have a chance. The full weight of the book should be thrown at them. Daphne Lynch, you agree with Kevin? What's Kevin said? I can't find Kevin. Susan Cross, yes, I agree with your sentiment about the hangman's noose. Kevin Grant, the death penalty is wrong for the UK, in my opinion. Kevin, that's your opinion. What do you base it on? I'm not having a go. I'm just interested. Everyone's got their opinion on this. I mean, the last person to be hung in this country was years and years and years and years ago, weren't they? And I know there's been a bit of controversy over that ever since. I mean, if not the death penalty, then what? There's this thing, isn't there? It's beyond a reasonable doubt. That's the thing. It's got to be beyond a reasonable doubt. So is that the benchmark? Is that the benchmark, I wonder? Listen, everybody, Slurpy Dave's in the house. Good to see you, Slurpy Dave. Hope you're well. Long time no see. That's great. Another regular person in the chat. I'm informed that we've only got something like 58 likes and there's about 118 watching in the chat. So if you haven't done so, hit that damn like button. Should be the first thing you do when you get in here. Seriously, though, if you do that, it does help the YouTube algorithm. Actually find us, and more people come into the chat as a result. Miscarriages of justice would be killed by the UK. We can't go down that road. We can't be that road. We can't be that sort of country. Fair enough, Kevin. Fair enough. I see exactly where you're coming from. I really do. But, you know, instead of that, then where do we go? A whole life tariff, solitary confinement. You know, how do we deter people from actually doing this? Thank you, Deborah James. You hit the like. That's great. Thank you. I respect Kevin's opinion, but in cases where there is incontrovertible evidence, including DNA, video, and an almost self-glorification of the crime, such as the MP murdered in his surgery. Yes, bless Sir David Amos. Yes, I see where Kevin's coming from because you know, there are miscarriages of justice, and you've got to rely on reasonable doubt, as in prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. No ifs, no buts, no maybes. You know, absolutely bang to rights as far as catching a damn person on camera has to be proven. And there are cases where perhaps justice isn't done as much as it should be. West, Australian resistance. Good to see you there. Billy Jackson, M&S share prices dropped after that decision. Kirky Bailey, Guildford 6 say, yeah. The Manchester Man, hello to you. I see your name popped up there, so greetings, glad you're here. I agree with Kevin 100%. One person put to death and it's wrong. That is one too many. Yeah, that's the only thing with it, isn't it? The only thing. A professional taxi driver wouldn't drink and drive. Well, no, they wouldn't. I don't know where that's come from, Cosmic, but that's a very, very valid point. What else have you said? Going to a pub and driving home after a few pints should have the keys confiscated by the landlord or given to a designated driver. Yes, absolutely. I mean, when I almost have to plan my drinks, you know. I mean, I'm on the coke tonight because I'm going to Stansted this evening. But, you know, I always, you can't, you know, I always try and leave a clear day at least. So it's completely out of my system. When you've got a driving job, you can't take any chances whatsoever. It's funny having a plan. It's not spontaneous. Yeah, Kevin, it's not a like a tit for tat kind of thing. I definitely agree with you there. It's a discussion. Everybody's going to have their opinions on it. It's a very sensitive subject, isn't it? And not everybody is going to agree all the time. I mean, I can see where you're coming from completely, but on the same token, I do believe that in certain circumstances, if proven beyond a reasonable doubt, 130%, if that's ever possible, then maybe. But yes, I certainly respect your opinion, as I respect everyone else's, and that's the beauty of this community of ours. We can discuss different opinions and respect what each other says. That's something great about it. Let's have a look, see what else we got going on in the chat. Hello, Andy. I remember at age 14, an execution in the 60s. I was deeply upset by the whole process. Yeah, it's an awful thing. Slurpy Dave, when my uncle was on the gallows, he said, "Can you put the rope round my waist?" Hangman asked why. Because I've got a boil on my neck. Oh, Christ. Trust you to lower the tone. Phil, me pants. Hey up, Andy. How you doing? I'm certainly all right, Phil. Me pants. I like that screen name. That's great. I hope you're all right. Ian C, hello, good to see you from North Yorkshire. Slurpy, the last hangman was Harry Allen, who took over from Pier Point, both pub landlords. Breaking, more than 10,000 Canadians receive medical assistance. Over 3% of all deaths. Trudeau government plan to expand program to mature minors and mental health. That guy's got questions to answer. He really has. Let's have a look who else we've got here. Some new comments coming. If someone is on the run for murder, they're going to hang for it. Therefore, it doesn't matter how many more they kill to try and avoid capture. Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, let's move on to something that affects all of us today. We had the announcement with the new energy price cap. It's been raised by 80%. Yes, 80%, which means that our bills are going to be something like £3,500 a year come October. I met a lady, I think it was either yesterday or the day before, who was saying to me that she lives in a 3-bedroom terraced house, and her gas and electricity bill is very negligible every month. It's just her, and she barely turns anything on at all, and she's managed to keep it down to quite a small amount. So you have to wonder, don't you, what's going to happen to people? What's the average person going to have to put up with? I mean, let's have a look, shall we? Because there's a couple of things here. Share the old screen again. Ofgem. Share. Yes, Ofgem confirms energy price cap will rise by more than 80% to £3,549 in October. Now, that figure alone is just scary stuff. It will increase from the current 1971 to 3549 from October the 1st. Now, the thing that really grates me is the massive profits that they're making as a result of this. And they still claim they have to put it up further. What the fuck's going on? The cap will come into effect for around 24 million households and will remain in place until December the 31st, when it will be adjusted again. Well, it will be adjusted again and it will go up again. We know that. It's not a price cap. You can't name something a price cap which is going to carry on rising. It's a fallacy. It's almost like they're trying to drive us into the ground. And, you know, is there some deliberateness to this? One has to wonder. Apparently, Boris said in the news today that more cash is coming to try and help people who have got problems. And I do wonder whether, you know, that UBI type thing might come in at some point. Oh, we're going to give people a regular amount to make sure they're secure and use the energy as an excuse. I do not know. Jonathan said the government would need to add to the support it announced in May, when bills were only expected to jump to 2,800. Well, it's 700 quid more, isn't it? The government support package is delivering help right now. Clear the new Prime Minister will need to act further. The response will need to match the scale of the crisis. Shadow Chancellor Rachel Reeves, this is incredibly worrying, will strike fear in the heart of many families. I'm going to try and find a video that Katie Hopkins brought out earlier, and I do wonder whether she's absolutely right with what she's saying. Families facing one of the bleakest Christmases for years. It really is a very awful situation. I mean, I saw this as well. British Gas to donate 750 quid to thousands of customers to help with rising bills. So they're trying their hardest to, you know, minimise this where they can. Some firms are. I mean, I'm with Octopus Energy personally, and they're actually saying that what's happening, they're actually absorbing an awful lot of the costs because they don't want their customers to, feel awful about it. I mean, let's face it, we're all very worried, aren't we? Let's see if I can find this Katie Hopkins video. I mean, there are people that I've just pulled up YouTube and I've just seen a picture of my boat race on there, which is quite funny. Yeah, there are people on out there who are single, probably not entitled to the help that most can get, or their situation denotes otherwise, and they're very, very worried. For 5 years, just see if I can find this. I'm not sure whether I'll be able to. I should have looked before I came out, really. Sort by date added, the newest. Yeah, I'm not sure whether this is going to be the case. One video of Katie's I'll play for you though, which was
interested in selling printed products,
pretty good. Let's just make this advert
such as wall art and apparel with your design online. Go to gelato.com.
I wanted to.
Yes, I like this one. It made me chuckle. So let's share this. Yes, you are being fed absolute balls. Let's see what Katie.
Dispel some of the myths around the energy crisis in the UK using this, the hastily constructed absolute balls-ometer. Boris Johnson is back in Ukraine with his favourite nipple height sidekick in the green t-shirt, Zelensky pushing the war propaganda. He says that British people may feel the pain of war with their energy bills, but Ukrainians are paying for it with their blood. Absolute balls. We are not suffering energy bills because of the war, manufactured or real. It's got very little to do with it. And in fact, Boris and the government are just hanging on that to try and deflect blame from themselves. Many Ukrainians are not paying for this in blood. In fact, many are actually going back to Ukraine for a little holiday because they're really tested by living with British homeowners who no longer really want them because that whole, doing good thing is actually quite ball-achingly awful. Number two, there's an idea that Putin, bad guy, cutting off gas. Putin, monster, cuts off gas. Well, no, because of sanctions put on Putin by EU members and the UK and the US, he asked for payment in rubles. Because we won't pay in rubles, because Germany won't give him rubles because it breaks the sanctions, he's now saying, well, I can't supply you gas. It's a very simple contractual arrangement. They're not paying him in the manner that he wanted to be paid in. Any suggestion otherwise that Putin is just randomly cutting off gas is in fact absolute balls. And what's most absolute balls of all is that £56 million more of our money has just been handed to Zelensky and the people of Ukraine. When did you ever vote for that? Did you vote for your cash to be given away to Ukraine right now at a time when we are about to enter a massive winter of discontent, where millions of Brits will not make it through because they simply can't afford to live in their own country? This, my friends, and what you are being fed is a load of absolute balls.
I think my favourite
back now at the key events over the last 6.
Wait, I think my favourite thing about that broadcast was the absolute ballsometer. I thought that was absolute class. But some very valid points there. And I do wonder whether they're going to start worrying about their own country rather than others. But again, that's a very divisive subject, really. Tony came to see me at Gatwick Tesco's, but I'd gone. What I'd actually done, I did that live stream that you're referring to from the cafe upstairs, and when I'd done that, I went back and sat in my car. I was actually there till about 10 o'clock at night, and then I moved back up to the airport site where my customer landed. So I don't know how quickly you came up there, or there was some delay, but I was there till about 10 o'clock. I mean, maybe there could be some way of communicating if, we might try and arrange a meet again somehow. But that will be cool. But yeah, I'm sorry you missed me, is all I can say. There must have been a few minutes in it. But there you go. This is the daily chat with Andy the Gabby Cabby, everybody. Good to see you all. Yes, we got 130 nearly. That's great. If I can ask everybody to hit the like button, if you can, that will be great. Let's get that algorithm talking. Got to go, Andy. Something came up. All right, Julie Keys, thank you for stopping by. Good to see you, and hope you're all right. And I'll see you next time. Hello, Red Scouts. Good to see you. Popping in the chat there. Yes, Kevin. I found out about that the other day. The French have put their price cap at 4%. That's it. I'm moving to Paris. Blow it. The way they're handling this is vastly different to the way we're handling it. We're being completely screwed over left, right, and centre. But, that's the thing. The last thing I want to show you, or the second to last thing, is, some viewer reaction from, some viewers of the news programme. Viewers overwhelmingly say they're worried about paying their energy bills. All because of the rising price cap that shouldn't be called a price cap. Viewers say they're worried about paying their energy bills as the 80% cap is right. Understandably. I mean, you look at that figure, 1,971 to 3,549. The cap will come into effect on October the 1st, but Ofgem warned that some suppliers could start early. This is all being controlled by the direct debits, isn't it, really? In December 31st, it's going to be adjusted again, and latest forecasts warn it could surge again to around 5,400 and around £7,000 in April. Imagine £7,000 a year for your gas and electricity. I think we're getting to a point where we can only be pushed so much further before, things start kicking off. There you go. A poll of 2,500 people, 82%. Yes, we're very worried. What the 18% that aren't are thinking, I do not know. We're seeing more and more frightened families who are reaching crisis point. I genuinely worry. I've got a wife and 2 kids. I've got to keep the lights on. What do we do? It's just a debt that's going to increase, but there is worry out there. It's, what can we do? Something's got to give somewhere. Isn't it funny? You want to get the real news? Go to GB News. Yeah, Nigel. 80,000 not paying the bills so far, which worst governments in history. Is it now time for a revolution? Bethany, I do wonder whether it will come to that, because people have just had enough. I know I have. Imagine the costs on my dealer lighting and heating all those plants. Yeah, they'll put them out of business, wouldn't it? Yes, very good. Got to find new school uniforms for their children as well. I mean, I've got a friend who started up a voluntary thing where she's trying to collect, used school uniforms or uniforms that have been used that are still in good condition, and trying to pass them on to other families that may need them, you know. But it's going to be little things like that where we're all going to have to help each other to get through, aren't we? It's interesting times ahead. But listen, folks, if you haven't done so already, please hit the like button. We've got a nice number in here. 135, that's really good. And each one of you that hits the like button will help the algorithm with future chats. We had that little bit of technical issue right at the start, but it looks like we got round that pretty quick, and we were here to stay for the duration. I'm going to have to call it a day now because we're getting it near 10 o'clock, and I have to go because I've got an airport run tonight, and I've got to try and get a little bit more sleep before I go. So I want to thank you all for coming again. It's been great to see you all. We'll have another live tomorrow and another one on Sunday as well. And I'll try and pre-schedule things a little bit more. There are people that are saying, you know, oh, we're not getting notified about the chat. That's YouTube that's doing that, or not doing that, as the case may be. And you need to keep an eye out. And I will try and forward schedule things as much as I can, or at least try and let you know about it, because I have a diary of work, airport work, and I can see where the lives are, and particularly the members only ones as well. So try and help you out a bit more. Anyway, enough waffle. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Friday night. Think of me off to Stansted to go and pick up some people. At least I might get a lie in the morning. Take care of everybody. Look after yourselves. I'll see you soon. Doodaloo.